A police officer just leaned into your car window and said 5 words that make your stomach drop. Why are you so nervous? And what you say next, in the next 5 seconds, will either protect every single right you have, or hand that officer everything he needs to search your car, arrest you, and ruin your life. Most people get this wrong. I almost got it wrong too, until I learned 3 words that change everything. Before we get into those 3 words, do me a quick favor. Hit that subscribe button right now. Here's why. 9 out of 10 gun owners have no idea this tactic even exists. And by the time you finish this video, you will know exactly what to say, when to say it, and why it works. But only if you stick around. So subscribe, tap that bell, and let us make sure you never get caught off guard at a traffic stop again. Now, let me paint you a picture. You are driving home. Maybe it is late at night. Maybe you're coming back from the range. You have got your firearm in the car, legally. Everything is by the book. Then you see those flashing lights in your mirror. Your heart starts pounding. Your palms get sweaty. That is normal. That is what happens to literally every human being when they see blue and red lights behind them. You pull over. You put your hands on the wheel. You're doing everything right. The officer walks up to your window, takes your license, and then hits you with it. You seem pretty nervous. Why is that? And right there in that moment is where most people destroy themselves. They start rambling. They start explaining. Oh, I just had a long day. I am running late. I have never been pulled over before. Or worse, they blurt out something like, well, I do have a gun in the car. And just like that, a routine traffic stop turns into a full-blown investigation. But here's what you need to understand. That question, why are you nervous, is not small talk. It is not the officer being friendly. It is a trained psychological tactic designed to do one thing, get you talking. Because the more you talk, the more information you give. And the more information you give, the more reasons that officer has to extend the stop, search your vehicle, or even place you under arrest. Multiple federal circuit courts, including the 1st, 5th, 6th, 8th, 9th, and 10th circuits, have all ruled that general nervousness by itself is not enough to establish a reasonable suspicion. Being nervous at a traffic stop is normal. It is expected. It is human. But here's the problem. When you start talking, you're not just being nervous anymore. You are giving the officer something to work with. You are handing over details that can be twisted, misinterpreted, or used against you in ways you never imagined. So what are the 3 words? Here they are. I want counsel. That is it. 3 words. I want counsel. And when you say those 3 words, something incredible happens legally. You have just pulled the most powerful constitutional trigger available to any American citizen. You have simultaneously invoked your 5th Amendment right against self-incrimination and your 6th Amendment right to an attorney. Under Miranda, once you invoke your right to counsel, all questioning must stop. The officer cannot keep grilling you. He cannot keep asking trick questions. He cannot keep trying to get you to slip up. Now, does that mean the officer will immediately stop talking? Honestly, not always. Some officers will keep pushing. They will say things like, come on, you do not need a lawyer, we are just talking. Or, if you have nothing to hide, why do you need a lawyer? Do not take the bait. Just repeat it calmly. I want counsel. And then stay quiet. Every single word that officer says after you invoke your right, and every answer he tries to pull out of you can be challenged in court as unconstitutionally obtained. Body cameras are rolling. Dash cameras are recording. Your silence after invoking counsel is not just smart. It is protected. If you are finding this helpful, imagine what you will learn in my next video where I break down the exact words to say when an officer asks if you are carrying a firearm. That video could save you from a felony charge you did not even know was possible. Subscribe right now so you do not miss it. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Let me explain why I want counsel works better than anything else you could possibly say. A lot of people think they should just stay silent, just clam up and say nothing. And I get that instinct. But here is what most people do not know. In 2013, the Supreme Court decided a case called Salinas versus Texas. And in that case, the court ruled something that shocked a lot of attorneys. They said that simply going silent without explicitly invoking your right can actually be used against you in court. Let me say that again. If you just go quiet without saying the words, prosecutors can point to your silence and say, see, he went quiet when we asked about the gun. That is evidence of guilt. That is terrifying. But when you say, I want counsel, you are not just going silent. You are invoking a specific constitutional protection. And that changes everything. Your silence after those 3 words is shielded. It cannot be used against you. It cannot be interpreted as guilt. It is a legal wall that prosecutors cannot climb over. Now, quick legal note. This is educational information, not legal advice. Every state is different. Every situation is unique. Always consult an attorney licensed in your state for advice specific to your situation. But the constitutional principles I am sharing with you today, apply across the board. They are federal protections. They belong to every single American. Let me give you a hypothetical example to explain how this plays out in real life. Imagine a guy named Mike. Mike is driving through Texas on a road trip. He has a legally owned handgun in his glove box. He is a responsible gun owner with a valid carry permit. He gets pulled over for going 8 miles over the speed limit. No big deal, right? The officer takes his license, comes back, and says, "You seem nervous, Mike. Is there something in the car I should know about?" Now, if Mike starts talking, he might say, "Well, I do have a firearm." The officer now asks, "Where is it? Is it loaded? Do you have any other weapons? Where are you headed? Where are you coming from?" And suddenly, Mike is answering questions he was never legally required to answer. But what if Mike says 3 words instead? "I want counsel." The officer might pause. He might be surprised. But legally, he has to stop questioning Mike. The stop should conclude within a reasonable time, and Mike drives away with his rights intact. That is the power of those 3 words. Hey, here's something wild. About 73% of people watching this video right now are not subscribed to this channel. Do not be part of that group. Join the thousands of gun owners who get these critical legal updates first. Click subscribe right now. It takes 1 second and it could save you years of legal headaches. But wait, there's something even more important I need to tell you. See, I want counsel is your shield, but you also need to know what not to do because one wrong move can undo everything. Mistake number 1. Do not argue with the officer. If the officer keeps asking questions after you invoke your right, do not get angry. Do not raise your voice. Do not say, "I know my rights. You cannot do this." Just calmly repeat, "I want counsel." Arguing gives the officer a reason to escalate. An escalation at a traffic stop is never in your favor. Mistake number 2. Do not consent to a search. After you say, "I want counsel," the officer might shift tactics. He might say something like, "You do not mind if I take a quick look around, do you?" That question is a trap. It is designed to sound casual, like it is no big deal. But under the 4th Amendment, you have an absolute right to refuse a consent search. The words you need are simple. "Officer, I do not consent to any searches." Under the case Schneckloth versus Bustamante, your consent makes a warrantless search legally valid. So if you say "sure" or "go ahead," or even just shrug, you have given up your 4th Amendment protection. Do not do it. Mistake number 3. Do not make sudden movements. This one is about safety, not just legal strategy. When you are at a traffic stop and you have a firearm in the vehicle, keep your hands visible at all times, preferably on the steering wheel. Do not reach for anything unless the officer asks you to. Do not fumble around in your glove box. Do not reach under your seat. Officers are trained to interpret quick movements as threats, and in the context of a traffic stop, that interpretation can have deadly consequences. Keep your hands still, keep your voice calm, and let those 3 words do the work. Now here is one more thing most people do not realize. Under the Supreme Court case, Rodriguez versus United States, decided in 2015, once the tasks tied to your traffic violation are completed, the officer's authority to detain you ends. That means once he has run your license, checked for warrants, and written the ticket or given you a warning, the stop is over. He cannot keep you there to fish for more information. He cannot hold you while he waits for a drug dog. He cannot extend the stop just because you seem nervous. So if the stop feels like it is dragging on, you can politely ask, "Am I free to go?" And if the answer is yes, you leave. If the answer is no, then you know you are being detained. Your "I want counsel" invocation becomes even more powerful. Everything from that point forward is under a legal microscope. This information could literally change the next time you interact with law enforcement. And the next video I am dropping explains the 5 things you should never say if you are carrying concealed. Subscribe now, because once that video goes live, the first 48 hours are when the most people see it. Do not get left behind. So let me bring this all together for you. When a police officer says, "Why are you nervous?" he is not making conversation. He is opening a door, and if you walk through that door and start talking, you are giving away rights that generations of Americans fought to protect. Your 5th Amendment right to remain silent, your 6th Amendment right to an attorney, your 4th Amendment right against unreasonable searches. 3 words. Protect all of them. I want counsel. Say it calmly. Say it respectfully. And then close your mouth. Do not explain. Do not justify. Do not apologize. Those 3 words are a legal shield that has been tested in courtrooms across this country. And they work. Look, I spend dozens of hours every week researching cases, reading court opinions, and breaking this stuff down. If this video helped you, if you learned something you did not know before, then do me one favor. Hit that subscribe button. Share this with someone you care about. A friend, a family member, someone who carries. Because the person who needs this information the most is the person who does not know it yet. Stay safe out there. Know your rights. And remember, you do not have to explain your nervousness to anyone. Just 3 words. I want counsel. I will see you in the next one. And one final note, nothing in this video is legal advice. I'm providing educational information to help you understand your constitutional rights. For advice about your specific situation, always talk to a licensed attorney in your state.